Okay, we'll go ahead and call to order a regular meeting of the Planning Commission for the Town of Superior. Commissioner Harden, would you take the roll, please?
Chairperson Jim Sawtelle.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Robert Momart.
Here.
Commissioners Joanne Eaton, Phyllis Harden here, Mark Lasis.
Here.
Jerry Malia,
Here.
Jason Reese.
Here.
Tom Ricker, Anthony Stewart, Planner Fred Fox, Attorney Liz Cross.
Here.
Associate Planner Stephen Williams.
Here.
All right, thank you. So I guess the first item on the agenda is appointment of a chair and a vice chair. You know, we have quite a few absences here tonight. What are your wishes? Would you like to table that until we have a full complement, or?
I think that makes sense.
I think it's, yeah,
great.
I agree.
Okay, why don't we do that? Is there any problem with that?
No, I just said Super Tuesday's tabled. I
Oh.
apologize.
Next item is approval of the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at it?
Yes.
Yes.
Any additions? Can we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Second.
Moritz, Mr. Lasis, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item is public comment on the consent agenda or non-agenda items. I'm thinking we probably don't have any public comment tonight.
Probably one-sided public.
Do we have approval of the minutes in here somewhere?
That's 6A.
6A, okay. So the next item is a consent agenda and approval of the minutes of the February 16, 2016 meeting. I wasn't here. Does everybody else have a chance to take a look at the minutes? Any changes to them?
Nope.
Can we have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the February 16, 2016 meeting.
Commissioner Lasis?
Second.
Commissioner Reese? All those in favor? All right, motion's carried. Okay, the next item, which I think is why we're really here, is the public hearing and adoption of a resolution recommending approval of the Rock Creek Final Plat Site Plan Number 21 Amendment. Rock Creek Village Shopping Complex monument sign to be installed along Colton Road at the entrance to Community Park. So the public hearing will be opened. Do we need notice of publication?
Yes.
We have a notice of publication? Okay. Does the applicant have a presentation?
I don't have anything new or different to report than what's presented to you tonight. We've been working with the town to get approval, obviously, for this monument sign. In the previous meeting we had in January, you heard from one of our tenants sort of supporting the plan, obviously, to get visibility for our tenants out on the street. So that's all been spoken to. The only thing that I would mention of note in the documents is that, who the owner actually is. J&B Building Company, which is me and Mindy Levy-Peckard here, Vice President. I'm the secretary of the company, the employing broker. I make the coffee. I do everything there, many things there. Is not the owner. It's the exclusive representative. The ownership group of the shopping center should be known as Rock Creek Village RLLP is the actual owner. Is it Rock Creek Center or Rock Creek Village? Okay. And we can get you that for the final. But J&B represents the interests and does all the work for that RLLP. So that was really the only change that I had here.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think the document speaks for itself, and I just want to thank the town, both the town board for their support and the planning board for the work, the resources they provided us to get this all put together.
Before we turn you loose, let me ask if anybody has any questions they want to ask.
Presume we still haven't heard anything from Safeway.
No, I don't expect to for a while, but that was an area of concern in our last meeting, and I've since had the conversation with my sign contractor. So that top metal panel that will, for now, read Rock Creek can be changed to read Safeway later, and that'll probably make them pretty happy.
Okay.
But again, they're still going through their consolidation with Albertsons. We can't even get somebody on the phone to fix potholes right now, and Safeway is in charge of the common area maintenance over there. So we'll keep trying, and we'll certainly offer, if you've got a graphic in your materials there of what the sign will look like, a top panel that will be backlit to read Rock Creek Village can be changed to read Safeway at a future date.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
Staff have any comments?
I have a presentation if you guys want to go over it. If you guys are pretty comfortable with the staff recommendation, I can gloss over it, or I can get into it. It'll take maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
I think it might make sense to run us through it real
Okay.
quick.
So the exclusive representative, J&B Building, which controls several retail spaces within Rock Creek Village, is requesting to add the freestanding monument sign that's been mentioned. It's along Colton Road at Rock Creek Village's most western entrance, which it shares with the town's community park. And it's identified by the star on the screen. The proposed monument sign is intended to increase the visibility of the center and promote business for the current tenants within Rock Creek Village. As the owner of the subject property, the town is actually the applicant on this application. As illustrated by this plat map, the proposed location is outside of Rock Creek Village, which is defined by this black outline. The area in red is part of Community Park. Staff's research into this development has traces back to 1995 when Community Park was first approved. And it's kind of interesting to see that these two developments have always kind of been tied and linked together. So in 1995, the final site plan amendment that we're considering tonight was first processed for 84 acres, and it listed the Community Activity Center in the southeastern corner, or basically designated that as a Community Activity Center within Rock Creek Village. It also designated this area for a future detention pond, which both of those developments have occurred, but the focus of that first final plat site plan, number 21, was 70 acres of development within Community Park. 2 years later, sub-area plan was processed for Rock Creek Village, and in that these two development areas actually got even more linked when a shared parking lot was planned for both uses, and this access road, the shared access road, was established to be shared between Community Park and Rock Creek Village. Though anchored by Safeway, there are numerous retail sites within this development, including dentist offices, dry cleaners, restaurants, and a hair salon. J&B's management within Rock Creek Village is generally illustrated by this orange outline here. The dentist building to the south is highlighted in yellow. There's a Safeway gas station generally located where this red square is, and then the former Liberty Bank building is shown here. It's staff's understanding that both J&B and the dentist office shown here would have access to the proposed sign. And this just kind of gives you a little bit better illustration of how that site's developed via an aerial photo. This image shows generally how the sign's going to look from Colton Road looking to the northeast. And it generally reflects the proposed appearance and size, as well as the materials chosen. This is closer in. The sign would stand 11 feet tall as measured from the grade to the top of the pyramids, the capped columns, and it's just over 16 feet wide. The sign would allow the message board to be roughly 23 square feet in size, and would also afford the 12 tenant signs that are shown there. Those are just over 2 square feet each. Neither the final plat sign for Community Park or the final plat site plan for Rock Creek Village contemplated a multi-tenant monument sign, and the Rock Creek Ranch PD doesn't really contemplate a sign of this type either. Staff has worked with J&B to ensure that the sign conforms with the materials and architectural elements that you see throughout Rock Creek. More specifically, the sandstone columns and the green pyramid-shaped caps are consistent with signs you see throughout Rock Creek development, and certainly signs you see throughout the Rock Creek Village. J&B has presented this proposal to both the Planning Commission and the Town Board and received positive feedback generally on the sign's design and size. In short, this proposal is considered to be commensurate with the needs of the Rock Creek Village Shopping Center. Updates to the approved final plat site plan that are required to accomplish this amendment are pretty minimal. This is sheet 1 of a 4-sheet final plat site plan. So I've just highlighted that we're going to need to insert the words amendment here. We're going to need to update the prepared date, and then eventually we'll have new signature blocks on sheet 1. Sheet 2 and 3, really the only changes are the title and the date. And then getting to sheet 4, we'll need to add an elevation sign and then some notes that kind of clarify the size, and probably some additional notes to kind of clarify the lighting type and the message board, and potentially the hours restrictions that we'll get into here in a second. And then the other illustration clouded here is just the site plan that shows the general setbacks. And note 2 addresses that this would be setback 15 feet from the access road, as well as 15 feet from Colton Road to the south. The other, I guess, part of this analysis that was included with your application was a site distance diagram that just shows that this meets the setback and won't interfere with traffic safety as far as people pulling in and out of that access point onto Colton. And then finally, the 3 conditions that were added to this proposal beyond the standard technical correction condition that staff always adds is that J&B provide an updated site plan that illustrates that the proposed sign location will not interfere with existing utilities, and this is due to a referral response we received from Xcel Energy. So they're in the process of locating Xcel's lines, and then Xcel is related that they prefer to have 5 feet of separation between their lines and any foundation wall, which would be required for the monument sign. And then we've also added conditions based on the feedback and the comments we got from Planning Commission in January regarding illumination and those type of concerns. Staff looked at the town code and generally decided that the hours of operation of the sign for both internally lit tenant signs as well as the message board should be limited to, be prohibited, I guess is a better way to put it, between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And that roughly would coincide with the hours of operations of the businesses out there. I looked into when Doug's Diner opened, and it is 6 a.m. And that's actually Monday through Friday. I think they open a little bit later on the weekend. But J&B shall also provide a photometric plan that just shows that the general illumination isn't going to cause excessive lighting off the property line since it is 15 feet away. As conditioned, staff recommends PC move to approve the resolution associated with this proposal.
All right, thanks, Stephen.
Sure.
Any questions for staff? Okay, I'm assuming we have no further public comment, but I need to ask, just in case. I think if there's no further public comment, we can close the hearing, right, Liz? Okay. Any comments from the board?
I think it'll be a nice addition to the development. Bring in some more business, more traffic. I think sign looked good. I think staff did a great job.
Yeah, I think our concerns that we talked about at the last meeting where we discussed this have been addressed by the conditions. I know there was lighting concerns, and as long as we're addressing the residents, right to not be disturbed from, any light pollution from the sign, then I think this is a no-brainer.
I agree with what both of you guys had to say. I think it's going to be an attractive sign. Hopefully it'll be helpful to the businesses there, and I think it's a nice product. And staff did a great job, as usual.
Thank you.
Well, I guess if there aren't any other comments, could we have a motion to approve the resolution that's in our packet?
I'll move to approve the Town of Superior Planning Commission Resolution Number PC-3, Series 2016, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the Town of Superior recommending approval of an amendment to the Rock Creek Final Plat Site Plan Number 21, Rock Creek Ranch Filing 20, Case Number FPSPA 2016-1, with the conditions outlined in our memo at page 6. Do I need to go through those conditions on the record?
I think they might be a part of the resolution.
Okay.
Already. Yes, I don't think.
So
we need to-
with the conditions then.
Okay. Commissioner Lasis, we have a second. Commissioner Momartz, all those in favor? Okay, motion's carried. All right. Staff announcements. Do we have any?
Yeah, just one, I guess, as far as upcoming meetings on the 15th, right? We will meet and discuss the final development plan for Centerpoint. So we talked about their vacation at the last meeting, and that application is for just across the street, Lot 1, Block 1, the town center. And Commissioner Lasis had a question on the tenants that were going in, and the application states 2 of them. So it is a Starbucks that is proposed to go in there for one of those units, as well as Firehouse Subs. So 2 other units are still to be determined. But it's a final development plan application and a special use review, and the special use review components because they're proposing a drive-through for the Starbucks. So we'll discuss that on the 15th as scheduled, and I think that's scheduled for the town board in April. So.
Okay.
My daughters will be delighted to hear that there's another Starbucks coming in.
You can let them know. Yeah, it's officially public now.
Is there any more business to come before the meeting?
Not tonight.
No, if not, we're adjourned.